What a great win for the Knicks last night. Sorry about the hat. It's cold out there, but you guys already knew that. Awesome team win. Everybody had each other's back. That's a win that I really didn't think that they were going to pull out. And there was a point there where you say if they're going to lose that game, then they go back to being 2 games under 500, and instead of taking that step forward to 500, which I'm sure is some sort of goal for them short term, that would have really hindered that process. But they fought together as a team and had to make shots down the stretch, which I thought was really impressive. Aaron Aflalo was great. Robin Lopez made a big shot too, and of course Derek Fisher's adjustment, putting Lance Thomas on Isaiah Thomas at the end there, I thought was brilliant. Well, let's get to the questions. 33 Rings asks, who's a realistic opportunity for point guard over the summer, and I think it's Connolly. I think Connolly is realistic, depending on what happens here towards the next couple months with Memphis and towards the playoffs. If I'm Phil Jackson, you want to make sure that you're creating the most value at that job description and that position. And they're on that path. They've got a good young guard in Grant who they can develop, certainly developing Galloway. They have a good veteran now in Calderon, who's not great defensively, but has really done a good job here in the last couple of weeks. And I would expect that to continue. He's a great shooter and always has been. Doesn't give the ball away, really gives you great possessions every time he's on the floor. So if you can make the pitch to a guy like Mike Connolly, you may not be able to offer him the most money, but what you can offer him is an opportunity for a position, starting position, in 34, 35 minutes, to play with Porzingis and to play with obviously Carmelo and a really good young core and a great culture and a great environment. And obviously Madison Square Garden sells itself. So what I want to do is I want to continue to build what is going on right now and create almost a fear of, well, if I don't sign with the Knicks, I could be missing out on a really big opportunity within New York. And I think they'll do that with Connolly. If they sign him, if he ends up, or if he doesn't end up signing and he ends up staying in Memphis, there are other opportunities and other players out there as well. Gabby asks, are there any trade rumors? Brandon Jennings, what's going on with Jimmer? So Jimmer had a great showcase, second team all showcase, overshadowed by Erick Green, who was great. A lot of guys got called up as well. Lorenzo Brown, who I really like, ended up in Phoenix. Erick Green is someone who's still out there, and there's a possibility there. Sean Kilpatrick in Denver, and a couple other guys got called up, which was great for them, and it's obviously great for the D-League. Jimmer's still hanging around, and he's playing great offensively. And, I think the Knicks are really trying and hoping that no one takes a flyer and that they can really continue to build what they're building without having to spend anything in terms of picks. They could always call up Jimmer if they need to and assign him to a 10-day contract and play him. As far as Jennings, I think they're monitoring the situation and they're just not in a rush to do anything. And at this stage, I think that's the right move because everything's going in a real positive direction. To steal a line from Donnie Walsh, just be patient and stay the course. And I think that's the smartest course of action right now, especially when you're talking about Brandon Jennings. Anthony asks, what sort of player in terms of ceiling do I consider Jerian Grant? And I've been a Jerian Grant guy for quite a while. I've been scouting him, studying him for a long time, going back to his Notre Dame days, before his suspension or his leave of absence there. What's not to like about this kid and his ceiling? 6'5", long arms, very good defender. This is a typical prototype Phil Jackson guard. You think Ron Harper, you think Pete Myers, you think, those type of big guys. Lamar Odom's lefty and certainly was more of a forward, but also had a lot of guard qualities. Brian Shaw. Those type of guys are the prototypes who can handle the ball and get you into your offense with strength. And that's what I love about Grant. He also can get you into your sets and attack the basket with speed, athleticism, he is really the missing piece. If he can do what he did last night, the Knicks are a very difficult basketball team to play against night in and night out, and are really primed for the playoffs. I can't think of one team in the top 4 that would want to match up against the Knicks in the playoffs. If you have a guy like Jerian Grant combined with a Jose Calderon, combined with Aaron Flalo making shots in the backcourt, and Langston Galloway, that's a pretty formidable, young, athletic, strong backcourt with some pretty big upside and a pretty significant ceiling. So that's what I see Grant as. Knicks culture, it's a great name. What do I see in Lopez playing much better? I just think it's confidence. I think it's understanding when he seals his guy offensively. I noticed that he's getting a lot more touches near the basket and not at the pinch post and the elbow, because he's really not that effective in that kind of catch handoff in the offense in the triangle. Because you don't have drivers and slashers is really not ideal. It's a great cut opportunity for a guy like Jerian Grant, or someone who's got a little bit more athleticism that can get to the basket, Derek Williams. But Williams and Lopez don't play a lot together. So if he's playing better, it's probably because they're getting easy baskets. When he gets touches, he's making those shorter jump hooks and putbacks. And I noticed between he and Porzingis, they're really attacking the offensive glass off of Melo's misses, which gives Melo confidence. Those mid-range shots are really good offensive rebound, put-back opportunities. Defensively, Lopez is terrific. They are much better than they've been in pick and roll. He is the reason for that. Obviously, Porzingis' length is reason for that as well. But Lopez is really the anchor of the defense, and really deserves more credit because he's playing great. Phil Jackson's brain asking about personnel moves, and I honestly, aside from maybe signing Wroten or bringing up a guard from the D-League if it's Fredette or Erick Green, Torrey Murray is someone who they've been looking at too, who they've seen another bigger guard. It all depends on Grant, because we know what they need. They need a guy who can drive to the basket and make plays, and Grant did that last night. So if Grant can be consistent, then there's really at this stage, no real reason to make any personnel moves. Again, stay the course. If hopefully at this point you get a win tonight against the Nets, get over 500. See if you can get 2 or 3 or 4 games over 500. Keep the momentum going. If you slip back and guys, aren't engaged in playing as well as they have been, and Grant specifically, or Galloway doesn't make that step, he needs to definitely step his game up. Then you can reassess, and then you just gauge the market and see what's happening. But I don't think they're in a rush to do anything.